How do you evaluate a testosterone deficiency? Of course, to me, the most important clue or information for that evaluation is what the client is telling you. And that's why you have to allow, when you see a client for the first time in a consultation, you cannot give him a time limit. He has to tell you, or she has to tell you, all the symptoms that they are feeling. In fact, the way I tell people in beginning a consultation, I put it like this. Please tell me all the things, big and small, physical or mental, that you're not happy about. And I want to know everything. Because the more I know, and I only want to know the negative stuff. I don't want to know that you have normal blood pressure. That's fine with me. I only want to know the bad things, in your view, physical or mental, big or small. Because that's the information I need, because my mission is to reverse every single one. Until you feel like you're on top of the world again, physically and mentally. This is my mission in what I do. So the main thing in evaluation is really what the client is telling you, what he's experiencing, all the symptoms he's beginning to see usually it develops kind of slowly over a period of a few years. But yes, there are tests that we do, and blood tests, there is one called total testosterone, there is another one called free testosterone. There is a third one called bioavailable testosterone, and a fourth one called percentage of free testosterone. Of all these tests, there's actually a fifth one called 6-hormone binding globulin, HSBG. And of course, when it's a man, you also like to get his prostate-specific antigen, which is PSA, in terms of number of tests that you do. But to get back to specifically the testosterone, total testosterone, free testosterone are the most significant in terms of blood tests. The problem with that, or rather that situation, has many problems. Number one, it's always necessary, in my experience, to do total and free testosterone. And this is something that regular practitioners, including urologists, never do. And endocrinologists too. They only focus on total testosterone. The problem with that attitude is that you could miss the boat. And I see many clients who have already seen endocrinologists or urologists, didn't get satisfaction, that's why they're coming to see me. Total testosterone, yes, it's nice to know what the number is, but some people, even though their total testosterone may be relatively high, but what they're extracting out of it as free is so tiny that they are very symptomatic. It's like this. You have $1 million in the bank, you have only $20 in your pocket, and you're going to buy a sandwich. Which is the money that's going to help you? It's what's in your pocket. It doesn't matter how much you have in the bank, it doesn't help you in this situation. So free testosterone is what's doing the work, whether it's sex, bone metabolism, building muscle burning fat, brain function, it's the free testosterone. And yet that's the one that urologists and endocrinologists do not do routinely. They go by the total, and if the total is above 300, the lab says normal for total is 240 to 800. So they say if it's above 300, it's normal. So here is a 35-year-old young man who's very healthy in every way, but his quality of life is deteriorating rapidly over a 2-year period. I'm just telling you a real case that came down to see me from St. Louis. And he already saw a urologist, and first mistake, the urologist only did total testosterone, no free testosterone. Second mistake, his blood level comes in 389. So the urologist says, I can't treat you, you're normal, because I don't treat anybody above 300. What about the fact that he's extremely symptomatic? He has sex problems, he has brain problems, he's unable to make muscle. I mean, but this is how it is in mainstream medicine. Everything is like God's truth is the lab numbers. It's not. God's truth is what the patient is telling you. It's a lot more significant than any lab. So sure, you get the lab tests, but the lab test is like background music. It should never be considered the gospel truth that you're going to have everything depend on. And when you do that, you miss the boat. And that's how I get a lot of these people who have seen urologists and endocrinologists, because they're not doing the right thing. There's no satisfaction. They didn't fix the problem. So the person looks around like, where else can I go? And thank God in this day and age for Googling, they look around, and most of the time they see a website, they call up the place, and that's how they come to us for this very frequently. So free testosterone is where the action is. As a matter of fact, because of my very big experience of seeing thousands of people with low testosterone, I even have a dozen cases. I just saw one last Friday whose total testosterone is in the 800s. We say, my God, it doesn't get any better than this. But he was symptomatic. Why? Because his free testosterone was so tiny. So you put him on testosterone and then it starts improving, which is the final proof that that's what he needed. But this is not done by urologists or family doctors or anybody else. And that's fine with me, because then these people come to see me, or someone like me.